Okay, so this is chapter 12. It is the last chapter in the story. The next few days were quiet, as if someone had pressed the mute button on life. Oliver moved through his day feeling numb and watchful, though he could not have said what he was watching for. The only thing that made him feel anything was when he heard Josephine's voice and remembered her face and how it lit up when she smiled. He was sensing something off, something shifting, but he had no idea what it was. That was deeply uncomfortable. Oliver's hallucinations had become increasingly insistent and invasive. Gargoyles bounced around in his room, and bright circles and squares came too close to his face for comfort. He began to wonder if this was close to what Ezra regularly experienced, and if so, how he was able to keep calm most of the time. How did Ezra accept his visions without resignation or irritation? It was late, and he knew he should have been in bed hours ago, but he was standing in the bathroom running a bath. It would be worth it. The bath would help him sleep more deeply. He removed his clothing and placed it on the toilet seat. He placed the clean towel in a place he could find easily and let his eyes gently close. The sound of the water flowing was a comfort. He almost didn't want to stop the flow. Carefully, he stepped into the hot water and rested his head against the bath pillow Josephine had put in the tub earlier that week. His eyes opened and his gaze drifted up. He didn't even gasp when he saw the shadow looking down on him. It occupied the upper corner of the room as if it had always known the shape of that space. Of course it was there. Where else would it be? His body still responded, giving him signals of physiological distress. His body wanted him to know that there was a tiger in the room. It was persuasive, but he didn't buy it. "You're real," he said, then clasped his hand over his mouth. Why had he said that? Of course it was not real. The shadow melted into the wall and was gone. Ezra was sitting in his armchair listening to an audiobook when there was a knock on his door. He could hear the familiar voices of Oliver and Josephine talking outside. He got up and opened the door, gesturing for them to come in. "I brought you a chocolate cream pie," Josephine said. Her voice was full of warmth. Ezra noted with mild surprise that her resonance sat lower than he had expected. From Oliver, he had imagined someone brighter, more bell-like. Josephine's presence was alto, warm, dense, and dream-deep. "I really hope that you like it." "Thank you very much, Josephine. That was very kind of you. Come in," he said, returning to his seat and pausing the audiobook. "Would you care to have a piece with me?" "That would be nice," Oliver said, taking a seat across from Ezra. "I'll go put it on plates," Josephine said, taking the cake with her into the kitchen. "Happy birthday, man. How do you feel?" "Almost ready to move on," Ezra said, shivering as cold air from outside touched the back of his neck. "You've got years to go," Oliver said, laughing nervously. "Years, eh?" the older man repeated, letting his eyes close lightly. Josephine emerged from the kitchen and placed plates down in front of Ezra and Oliver. She retreated, returning moments later and taking a seat beside Oliver. "It smells—" Oliver stopped. His throat tightened around the next word. "Delicious." Ezra opened his eyes and glanced in the direction Oliver had been facing. He could see the shadow watching the younger man intensely as he took a bite of cake. "Thank you, Josephine," Ezra said. He placed his fork down and inclined his head, not quite toward her and not quite toward the other being. They did nothing in response. "The cake is wonderful." He could already feel something shifting, not unlike the moment before falling asleep. His whole body felt relaxed, and his mind wanted to drift away from where he was. He forced himself to focus on the people present with him. He knew he should excuse himself, but he felt so relaxed he could not move. He found himself examining the shadow with curiosity. He wanted to ask them, "What are you?" But he knew how impossible a question that was. The shadow's eye focused and swirled. Ezra heard tapping and scratching. It was as much answer as he was going to get. He had never been given the answers. The air began to fill with triangles and squares, bright like the shadow's eyes, and the whole room seemed to spin. He heard Oliver inhale. He heard Josephine's chair shift against the floor. Such small sounds, and he loved them with sudden, useless clarity. He drew in a slow, deep breath, and as he released it, he found himself released from his body. As he drifted upward, he could feel the body beneath him collapse.